Welcome to today's webinar, 20 painful mistakes that parents regret making in their child's screen time and how to avoid them. Attention parents, if your child spend a long time on their smartphones, tablets, or computers, gaming, social mediaing, or YouTubing. So I would like to actually show some of my client testimonials before I start. So this is from Jenny. Jenny is a mother of 13-year-old son. Jessie helped me to reduce my son's screen time from 8 hours to 3 hours a day. It was done pretty fast in 1 month. In the past, our children will scream and act violently whenever the iPad is taken away or not given to them. Now they can calmly pass back the devices even though they only have 2 hours of screen times on weekend. And this is from Zach David, and he is a father of 3, age 5, 4, and 2, a very young father. And this came from Sarah, and she's a mother of 2 daughters, age 8 and 5. When I come to Jessie, I was in a desperate place. I found my child sneaking out at midnight to play computer games. Now, my child has overcome her gaming addiction and has a screen time of 2 hours a day. And this comes from Dinuka. Dinuka is also a parenting coach and a mother of 2 sons, aged 12 and 10. In the past, my son would claim he can't sleep whenever his smartphone was taken away from him. In 2 months, Jessie helped me to overcome my son's smartphone addiction and reduce my son's screen time from 5 hours to 2 hours a day. And this came from Tammy. Tammy is a mother of 2 sons, aged 15 and 13. And this is what she said. I have been struggling to a less angry mom. I've been struggling to be a less angry mom. And in 1 hour, Jessie has shifted my mindset to love my children more. And this is from Shalene. Shalene is a primary school teacher and a mother of 3, age 5, 4, and 2. And this is what she said. Before working with Jessie, I was struggling with my young children's screen time as they will have a lot of tantrums, meltdowns, and fights. Now they understand and accept when the devices were taken away from them. So who we serve? We serve parents who are concerned with the following: their child's screen time, their child gaming, social media, YouTube, and internet addiction, their child's internet safety, and the lack of connection with their children. We routinely help our clients to solve the following challenges. Read on to see if this is relevant for you or not. We routinely help our clients to solve these problems. Your children are glued to their tech devices and spending long hours on their smartphones, tablets, or computers, gaming, watching YouTube and social media, and chatting with their friends that have forgot about their homework, chores, eating, and sleeping. Your children refuse to listen to you and follow your instructions, no matter how many times you have tried to talk to them and convince them. It is as if your children have been possessed by these devices. You do not know how to parent your child with these technologies. Back then, when you were growing up, your parents don't have this problem. You have no idea how to do this as you do not have anyone to refer to. You feel helpless, frustrated, and angry when it comes to your children and their tech devices. The more you try to limit or control their screen time, the more they want their tech devices, and they ended up having meltdowns, throwing tantrums, fighting back, and resisting you. You hate this technology so much, but you can't take them away because it is part of your children's life, and school are also moving to technology-based learning. You just can't figure out how to fix your children's addiction. We realize many of our clients face these problems initially because they are not sure how to deal with their children and this technological device. They are using the same parenting style their parents use on them, and it does not work anymore. They don't know how addictive these devices are, and they do not know how to prevent these billion-dollar industries to shape the desired habits in their children. They do not accept that technology is going to stay, and it is time to figure out how to live with it. They are not aware of a specific or more superior shaping habit systems that will allow them to shape their children's habits, mindset, and character to allow them to use technology for their passions and talents. Now, see how easily you can stop your child's screen internet addiction, nurture good screen habits in your child, and build a better relationship with your child through the never fight with your kids method, shape habits formula. Our detailed process will reveal in a few more slides. But before that, here are some real-life case studies to show that it works. How we help Jenny, a mother of 13-year-old teenage son, to reduce her son's screen time from 8 hours to 3 hours a day in 1 month. This is Jenny. Before working with us, Jenny's sons grew up reading books and playing board games and puzzles and toy trades. But when the boy get an iPad and Nintendo Switch at the age of 12, he became addicted and was gaming and watching YouTube 8 hours a day. After working with us, gadget use was reduced from 8 hours to 3 hours in just over a month. Her son started to show back interest in his reading, board games and trains, and spend time indulging in these hobbies. Her son's academic performance has improved significantly after the reduction of screen time. In the past, Jenny has to nag and threaten to remove the gadgets. Her son would fight back, throw tantrums, or have meltdowns. After working with us, instead of reacting, Jenny responded better to help her son regulate screen time. Before working with us, her son refused to connect with Jenny. He even regarded her as an outdated mom. Some family conflict has damaged the good relationship that she had with him when he was younger. After working with us on working on her inner self and her relationship with herself, more importantly, working on her mindset about parenting, how to communicate and rebuild a different type of relationship with her teenage son, now her son has been open to reconnecting back with Jenny. In September 2022, she told us that her son invited her to play a video game with her. And that's only within 2 months ever since she started working with us. When she first met us and heard about our past case studies and experienced the work we do through the Reduced Screen Time webinar, she knew we were the best options for her breakthrough. But her biggest concern was her self-doubt that she can do this as her relationship with her son was so chaotic. It was always fighting and resentment. Still, she took the leap of faith. They say the rest is history. Just like Jenny, if you want to stop your child's screen internet addiction, if you want to build a deeper connections with your child, which lasts a lifetime, if you want your child to have healthier habits to do with his or her time, and able to achieve better in their life, read on. How Sarah kids used to sneak out at midnight to play computer games to overcome gaming addictions and reduce screen time of 2 hours a day without going through screaming and yelling. And this is Sarah and her children, age 8 and 5. And thanks to Sarah for showing her beautiful family pictures to us. Before working with us, Sarah's daughter sneaks at midnight to play computer games. Sarah became desperate when she found her daughter was searching for super inappropriate things online. Her children spent 12 hours gaming, surfing the internet, and watching YouTube. After working with us, screen use was reduced to 2 hours on weekdays and maximum of 5 hours on Saturdays. And Sunday is a screen-free day. Her daughters know how to manage their time. She will complete all her basic responsibility first before her computer games. In the past, Sarah has to scream, yell, and take away the gadgets. The children will scream, yell, and try to fight back. After working with us, now Sarah and her daughters do not argue about the screen use anymore. Sarah even built deeper connections with her children. In the past, Sarah has to constantly shout and fight with her children. Her daughter prefers to spend more time with their devices, and the longer they spend on it, the more they wanted it. After working with us, she now has a better connection with her children. And Sarah's daughter even happily passed her devices to Sarah and wanted to spend more time with her family. So in the past, they wanted to spend more time with the gadgets, but now they ditch the gadgets and want to spend time with Sarah and the family. This is a really great transformation stories. Before working with us, Sarah thought that the screen time issue will go away as her children grow. But when she caught her daughter sticking to play her games at midnight and that she was searching for super inappropriate things online, she knew she needed to do something. In her words, Jessie has rocked our world in the best way with regards to screen time use. One of the best things I found working with Jessie is that I have a better connection with my daughter than before. I hope to keep her as long as my children use the gadgets. Just like Sarah, if you want to instill good screen time management habits, if you wish your children to ditch their gadgets to spend more time with you, if you want to have a better connection with your children and able to reduce their screen time without screaming, yelling, and threatening to take away the devices, read on. How Zach, a young father, was able to turn around from no iPad equals to tantrums and meltdowns to reducing his children's screen time to 2 hours on weekends without fights, meltdowns, and tantrums. And this is Zach, and her children's age are 5, 4, and 2. And thanks to Zach as well for showcase his success stories here. Before working with us, Zach and his wife were very careful before introducing the screen time. They found it incredibly hard, especially when their children are so interested in the iPad, smartphone, and YouTube. Their children spend around 6 hours a day on the iPad and smartphone. After working with us, in 2 months, Zach and his wife managed to reduce their children's screen time from 6 hours to 2 hours during the weekend, and weekdays are no screen time. Before working with us, whenever they refuse to pass the iPad or smartphone, their children will act violently, fight, throw tantrums, or even have meltdowns. After working with us, they can now take away the devices from their children without fights, tantrums, and meltdowns. Their children are calm and know it is time to pass the iPad or smartphone. In the past, Zach and his wife didn't set clear boundaries on screen use. They have no idea how to communicate these expectations to their children as their children are so young. Zach applied digital parenting methods, non-flexible yet effective 3-step system. Instead of reacting, Zach and his wife responded better to help their children regulate screen time. As a result, their children now understand the boundaries and have agreement in their screen use. In the past, Zach and his wife wanted to be a better parents, and they tried to learn from YouTube and attended some parenting courses. They know all the theories, but could not implement them. After working with us, Zach and his wife found that the whole program is more than just reducing their child's screen time. It is a holistic parenting program to nurture their children as a whole people. Zach and his wife found that the program has step-by-step to make it actionable and relatable to them and put in their family context. This allows them to implement things they wanted to nurture happier, healthier, and more courageous children. Zach and his wife have been to different parenting programs before. They attended the webinar and applied one of the secrets that I shared, and it shows immediate results. And therefore, they joined the program. Zach and his wife realized that we are indeed the real deal. They learn things from us that is actionable and relatable to them, which allows them to see immediate results. Just like that, if you want to intervene before your children got addicted to the screen or internet, if you want to nurture happier, healthier, and more courageous children, if you want to be able to implement good parenting practices fast and be damn good at parenting, read on. Point is, we have witnessed so many transformations from clients who have utilized the shape habits methods. Would you like be the next? Meanwhile, here's why we do what we do. We are sharing this with you because I was once in your shoes. I used to shout and scream at my children too. I was trying to control and get them to do what I want. I was parenting my children based how I was parented. However, all this changed in March 2019. One of my good friends, Lee, passed on. 3 years back, she was diagnosed with nose cancer and discovered the unfaithful event of her spouse. This led to divorce, and she took custody of her 2 sons. Despite hardship, Lee was able to bring her family together. When I attended Lee wake service in March 2019, it was the most beautiful wake service I have ever attended. Lee has moved on by forgiving her ex-husband despite the pain he brought her. When her eldest 12-year-old son came and spoke in the wake service, I was amazed by this boy. He was trying to be courageous and make his mom proud. I remember the lines. My mom taught me about love, forgiveness, and courage. Wow, I'm not sure whether you realize this or not. Lee decided not to bring her marriage wound to her son. Love, forgiveness, and courage will allow her son to move on and live the present life. I was so inspired by Lee being a good mom. When I started to work on myself, I realized the most important to me is the connection with my children. How do I got started in this? So I spent more than 14 years working as a cybersecurity expert, helping big corporations to defend their systems from cyber criminals. Because of my background and knowing that these devices are addictive, my husband and I tried to delay technology use in our children. However, when COVID came in March 2020 and we were in a lockdown for almost 2 years, I knew I can't delay anymore. That's when I started looking for a way so that I can be parented my children using these devices responsibly while building better connections with them. When my friend Lydia called me in the year of 2020 and shared that she fights with her son physically to wrestle the smartphone due to her son's smartphone addiction, I realized that many parents are struggling with this. Therefore, I decided to start digital parenting coaching, and it is my mission to help you to nurture your children to use the screen or tech devices responsibly and stay safe online. We are doing this with you because I believe that every family deserves to be happy and every parent wants to build deeper relationship with their child. I believe that every parent should not fight with their kids over smartphones, gaming, social media, or gadgets. I believe that every child has the right to learn to stay safe online, as the internet is not a safe place and it is not designed for our children. When I started to work on myself, I realized that my parents' belief wasn't the best, and it does not mean it should be my beliefs. I realized that life is short, and I need to think about what type of children I wanted to raise. When Lee passed on in March 2019, she was only 39 years old. I realized that I may not be there forever for my children. I realized that I need to raise independent, courageous, and conscious children. When I changed from behavior-based to connection-based, everything changed. I become connected and respected relationship with my children. My children are more open to listen to me and working collaboratively with me. My children become more independent, courageous, and conscious about their thoughts, emotions, and habits. So how my clients benefited from this? I put everything I knew from mindfulness, conscious parenting, internet safety, and habits, and I closely studied them, and that's where I found the answer. Seeing the method I developed amazingly worked for my own family, I started helping more parents and having them experience the same or even greater success I achieved. My clients are now happy and have peace of mind knowing their children can use their tech responsibly and stay safe online. They also have a better connection with their children. And that's the kind of life I want for you. Here's how we get the results for our clients. Introducing Never Fight with Your Kids method, shape habits formula. So here is the 20 painful mistakes that parents regret making in their child's screen time and how to avoid them. So I actually divide into 4 steps, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. And the first step 1 and step 2, this is the first place that you need to set boundaries with the screens and dealing with screen addiction and screen habits. On the step 3 and step 4, this is where you need to learn how to nurture good screen habits and stay safe online. So let's get started. So the first step is you need to set boundaries with the internet, games, or screen. Here is the first mistakes that most parents make. Parents limit and control their child's screen time strategy. This strategy sometimes works depending on the age of your child and your child's personality. However, it means that there is one key to this success. You have to be there all the time. Ask yourself, if you are not there to limit and control your child's screen time, will your child stop on his or her own? I doubt so. It is tiring and you can't be there all the time. Have you discovered the more you control and limit your child's screen time, the more they wanted the gadgets? Here's the reality. The more you limit the screen time, your children will view it as a scarce resource and want to have more. As Tony Robbins said, energy flows where attention goes. Their attention is now on the screen time. Think about it. As you try to limit and control their screen time, your child will see it as a scarce resource. When you ask your child to stop, the more your child sees it as a scarce, he will try to defend it from taken away by you. And that's why you find yourself battling with your child on the screen time use. As your child grows older and in their preteens or teenage years, you might find it is a constant battle with your children. As your child moves into adolescent phase, they are discovering their own identity and wanted more freedom. Why they are limited to the screen time. Personally, controlling the screen does not allow for a safe space, communication, and trust. With so much happening online, we also need to know what is happening in their online world. Many children do not tell their parents what is happening as they are afraid their devices will be taken away. Some children even lie about their screen time. When you use this strategy, it is as if you're trying to drag a cow to eat the grass or drink the water. Here's the reality. We can't force the cow to eat the grass. No matter how much we love them, we can bring the grass to their mouth. They still have to do their part, which is to swallow and munch the grass. Here's the second one. You need to raise independent. Instead of limit and control your child's screen time, this is what you should do. You should actually raise independent, courageous, and conscious children who can self-regulate their screen time and manage their screen life well. Tech is going to stay. We need to find ways to live with it. You need to raise young adults who are prepared for the world. The only way to raise conscious children who can self-regulate so that they can do the right thing, even if we are not there with them. I want you to think, do you have any family members or friends who are addicted to alcohol, cigarettes, or any substance? Have you ever told them that they have some problems with the addictions? What is their response? And I want you to ponder and really think about it. Most likely, they will say that I don't have a problem. I wanted to share a story of my eldest daughter, Swen, who is now 13 years old. She recognized that she was escaping from a pain, and that's why she's been watching YouTube for a longer time. It felt better in the beginning, but the moment she stops it, the negative feelings, sadness, or angriness will come back. When she meditated with me, she felt much better as she can tell herself that it's not a big deal and she can deal with the situation. The person must be conscious about her thoughts and habits, only able to look at herself and decide the change. Here's the second one. Impose technology use rules to get your child to put away their devices. Most parents find the more they try to impose the rules, their children refuse to listen to them and try to do the opposite. Here is what you should do. You should actually have a parent and child to set boundaries and agreement on the screen or technologies. When you work collaboratively with your children, you will get their buy-in, and the likelihood to following through with the boundaries and the agreement is higher. Here's the third mistake. The primary focus is to correct the behavior using punishment, shaming, shouting, and time off. This is what you should do instead. You should start with connection first instead of corrections. When you try to correct your child's behavior, it creates resentment in your children. It may work first initially, but as soon as you will realize that it lost its effect and your children ignore you and continue to stare at their screen. By starting with connections, you can get your children to listen to you. Once your child felt the connection and is being understood, they will want to understand you, and that's where they really listen to you. And here's the number 4 mistake. Parents reacted to their children's misbehavior. When you react, it pushes your children away. It does not teach them anything other than don't tell you anything. Here is what you should do. Parents to respond to their children's misbehavior. When you respond to their misbehavior, you can guide them to come back to the family and the boundaries with the screens. And here's the number 5 mistakes. Parents mistakenly think that outdoor activities will prevent screen addictions. Once your children are addicted to the screens, gaming, or internet, their minds are preoccupied with them. Even though they are playing outdoors, their minds keep thinking about their games, internet, and screens. Once they are no longer outdoors, they switch to the default mode, which is glued to their screens. How many of you realize that your children are glued to the screens the moment they are out of their door activities? Here is what parents should do. Parents should observe and understand your children's screen habits. If you witness a sign of addiction, you can start intervening early. In reality, we can't be there all the time, as they have other influences such as their friends and social media, and they do things differently. Further, the internet is not a safe place. We need to help our children to navigate the internet safely. So here is some of the Facebook posts that I actually posted, parents post to ask for advice. So I actually gather, and I also like take some of the information, you know, like this is strictly this is a post that actually parents posted on the Facebook group, and I actually just take it. Of course, I remove all the names and everything. So here is one of the example. My 14-year-old stepdaughter is not allowed to have Instagram. It is blocked from her phone. She found out she has an account that she uses from her friend's phone. So you don't allow her to have Instagram, no problem. She will actually find ways where she get to use an account that she uses from her friend's phone. Have TikTok, but rules that her page has to stay on private. Teenagers are sneaky. She changed her TikTok back to public, and whenever the fathers find out, I tell her to change it back, and she mix up some excuses or lie. So basically, the story is about 14-year-old daughter not allowed to have Instagram. Found that she has an account that she used from her friend's phone. Allowed to have TikTok, but private profile. When father is not aware, change it to public account. Constant lying, sneaking, making excuses, and repeating the prohibited behavior. The father imposed rules, set boundaries, or even try to talk nicely instead of blowing up. Wow, sounds like a very difficult situation. Here's one of the second posts that I actually post. My son, 7-year-old, is very addicted. We have tried to limiting to minimal use and taking it away completely. And taking it away completely was terrible. If he can't play games, then there's no point to behave nicely. Screams, talk about killing himself the whole bit. If I say no, he will say things that you will let me play or I'll be mean today. Basically, the story is my 7-year-old son is very addicted. Try to limit and take away, and whenever take away, this is disastrous. The son's point of view, no screen time, no point to behave well. Hit himself and talk about killing himself because he can't play. Allow him to play, but he will threaten that he will misbehave if there's no screen time. So here's the third post that I actually extracted. 8-year-old is extremely addicted to the screens. We have to place firm limits, and as the more time she has, the more she wants. Highly aggressive and angry when we say to stop. When I say no, after trying to physically wrestle the iPad off me, screaming, getting more violent and angry at me. So basically, the summary of this story is my wonderful, kind and sweet 8-year-old daughter is very addicted. The more she had, the more she wants. Place limit, she becomes highly aggressive and angry. Take away the devices, storm off with a temper, refuse to eat dinner and talk. Sounds like a very difficult situation as well. What do you observe from these case studies? The parents are limiting their child's screen time. It's getting tougher and tougher when your children grows older and become teenagers. They become sneaky, try to hide or lie about their stuff. There's also a lack of trust and safe space communication. So there you are. So I hope after this, you will not repeat, the same mistakes where you try to limit and control their child screen strategies. May not work so well, actually. So here's the step number 2, dealing with addiction and guide our children to maintain focus and attention. One of the first mistakes is parents refuse to learn about digital parenting or parenting our children in this digital era. So here is what parents should do. Parents should learn how to parenting their child with this digital era, because all this tech is going to stay and it's going to be a huge part of your children's life. Here's the number 7 mistakes. Many parents underestimate the power of internet or apps that has stolen our children's attention and focus. The new currency in this digital era is attention. It means that attention equals to gold. Therefore, we need to safeguard our precious attention. This is where Usually the first point, there some parents realize that their children's attention and focus are on the games, internet, or screens. This is what you should do. We should guide our children so that they can maintain their attention and focus in this distracted world. Here's the number 8 mistake. Many parents pass the tech devices without unhack these tactics used by the billion-dollar industries. And all these billion-dollar industries, they basically have some tactics to shape the desired habits in their children. And therefore, you need to unhack it so that it will not shape the desired habits in your children. So what you should do here is you need to hack all these triggers that these apps or technologies are designed to shape their consumer habits. Here's the number 9 mistakes, not dealing with the deeper needs behind the addictions. Here is what parents should do. You know, there's a real reason and a deeper needs behind this addiction, and you need to deal with it. This is what you should actually do. And number 10 mistake is many parents mistakenly assume that spend long hours equals to addicted and label them. Spending long hours does not mean addicted. It could be just a pure screen habits. And therefore, what parents should do is they need to shape good mindset and habits in our children. Billion-dollar industries are shaping the desired habits in their consumer. And once the action has been done long enough, it becomes habits, and habits define who they are. When you are aware of all this, you can deal with them clearly, rather trying to limit and control your child's screen time. This causes a significant amount of tension and chaos in the family, which in turn strain your relationship with your child. And studies have shown that 90% of teens keep their phones in their bedroom, and 72% report using their phones within an hour of bedtime, which can disrupt their sleep. 72% of teens feel the need to respond to notifications immediately, and 59% of parents say their teens are addicted to their mobile devices. Excessive media use, including internet and video game use, is associated with increased behavioral problems, such as hyperactivity, inattention, and aggression in children. 70% of teens say anxiety and depressions are major problems among their peers, and 45% say social media has a negative effect on their mental health. 48% of teens who spend more than 5 hours per day on electronic devices have at least one suicide risk factor. Children who spend more than 2 hours per day playing video games are more likely to have lower grades than those who play for less time. Here's the quote that I want to actually present to you. If we don't shape our kids, they will be shaped by outside forces that don't care what shape our kids are in. So here is now we go to the step number 3. And this third step, you need to increase your influence, instill critical thinking, and empower our children. Here's the 11 mistakes. Most parents continue to use the same parenting style the parents were parented, which means that you are actually being seen as the controller. When our children see us as a controller, they do not want to share with you what is happening right now. So therefore, we need to increase our influence so that our children see us as a guide and not controller. Here's the number 12 mistakes. Parents cultivate obedience without questioning behavior in their children. Remember, the content or games are speaking to them for long hours. It means you are training your children to listen without questioning these contents. Some parents went too much by spoon feeding and preparing the road for the child, leaving them with no critical thinking. Here is what parents should do. Parents should cultivate critical thinking in our children. When they possess critical thinking, they can decide if these contents are for them or else rejected them. Here's the 13 mistakes. Parents did not role modeling of healthy screen habits. Here's the reality. Your children are watching your habits and they copy what you do, not what you say. So here, parents should to show good role model of healthy screen habits. And this is the number 14 mistakes. Many parents actually underestimate the influence of content to our children's mind and behavior. This is where the parents realize that their children has been brainwashed into the things they see on the internet. Here is what parents should do. We must periodically check with our children on their mindsets, habits, and things happening in their online world and offline world. And here's the number 15 mistakes. Parents did not want to deal with the deeper needs behind their child's misbehavior. Our child misbehavior may reveal something in depth. We may need to dig deep to find the underlying cause of the misbehavior. When your children are empowered, they know what to do and how to spend time wisely. You do not have to be there all the time. It is exhausting. And this is the step number 4. In step number 4, you need to deal with these internet dangers because all these apps and technologies, they are actually linked to the internet, and internet is not a safe place. And many parents actually expect having parental control installed and everything is settled. Here is what parents should do. They should learn some basic internet safety and know how to stay safe online so that you are in the same page as your child. And here's the reality. No parental control tools are bulletproof. No matter how good is the tool, there are some internet dangers will still able to pass through. So therefore, you cannot expect that it's bulletproof and that's it. And that's why you need to really understand about internet dangers and how to stay safe online. Here's the number 17 mistakes. Many parents underestimate the dangers of the internet and its impact to our children. Here is what you should do. We need to set a safe internet environment for our children. No matter how much we want to protect them, some dangers will still able to pass through. Therefore, you need to guide them how to stay safe online. And here's the 18 mistakes. Parents did not guide the children to stay safe online. They just assume that the internet dangers will not reach to their child. In the physical world, you will guide your children to stay safe, like not talking to the strangers, how to cross the road, and etc. Physical dangers may be highly visible, but don't think that there's no dangers online because it's not visible. You should treat the online world the same as the physical world. So, and therefore, we need to guide our children to stay safe online. It means that we need to know how to stay safe online ourselves and role model it. We can't teach our children if we don't even understand the subject. Here's the number 19 mistakes. Many parents actually underestimate the peer pressure. Nowadays, a lot of children, most of them, they have some kind of device, be it tablets or a smartphone or even some laptops. And therefore, they actually exchange information and they also share what they are doing online. And there's some kind of peer pressure as well. So therefore, you need to walk through with your children how to handle the peer pressure when it comes to the social media, gaming, or the internet. And here's the 20th mistakes. Many parents do not know how to resolve conflicts. Many parents do not know how to resolve conflicts with their children. Most of them just try to push their demands on their children. So here is what the parents should do. You should actually resolve the conflict and have a safe space for children to voice their thoughts and feelings. Parents need to learn to negotiate with their children and have a win-win situation. When you're able to negotiate with your children and resolve conflict, you will have a win-win situation. This is when you work collaboratively with your children. And by this step 4, this is when your children will use the tech devices responsibly and stay safe online. And here is all the 20 painful mistakes that parents regret making. Studies have shown 42% of children between age of 10 and 17 have been exposed to pornography online. And 37% of students have experiencing cyberbullying via their smartphones. 500,000 online predators are a daily threat to kids going online, and most victims are aged 8 to 13. 42% of children ages 10 to 17 have seen explicit or violent content online, and 34% have seen content that make them feel uncomfortable. And 57% of teenagers have been contacted by a stranger online, and 20% of teenagers have been asked to send nude or semi-nude photos of themselves. Out of these 20 mistakes, right, what is the one core mistake that parents did? Out of these 20 mistakes, the core mistakes is the parents did not start to learn parenting their child in this digital era before they allowed their children to have access to the screen. The key message is the parents need to learn parenting their child in this digital era before they allow their children to have access to the screens. I want you to consider this. When do you handle your fire hazard in your house? Before, during, or after? Before. You will not handle your fire hazard during and after, because it's during, then the fire may spread and it's actually a bit too late. And if it's after, then it's really too late. So you will actually try to handle all the fire hazards in your house before. And therefore, the key message is parents need to learn parenting their child in this digital era before they allow their children to have access to it. How are we different from other parenting coaches? The other parenting coaches mainly focus on teaching you as many handling screen time techniques as possible. Their idea of dealing with screen time is get you to able to deal with the problem on the spot. You just need to say the right words or script so that your children will listen and hand you the tech devices they say. For us, the shape habits formula, before we teach you our proven shape habits formula, we will first help you to heighten your influence, the main element that makes your children are more receptive and willing to listen to you, and help them foster critical thinking. Watching your children become more mature as young adults, have their habits and critical thinking shaped. Your children see you as the guide instead of you chasing them to do what you want. The other parenting coaches will also tell you to enroll them into multiple activities and keep them busy. While all these are essential for limiting your child's screen time, remember, all these are vessels. What's most important is your children's ability to regulate their technology use. And most parenting coaches out there doesn't teach you that because they don't know how to do it for themselves either. When you work with us, you will get the shape right habits that are in line with your child's personality and values. Your children will be able to regulate their screen use as they already have the right habits that are in line with who they are. Also, we will show you how you can hack this billion-dollar industry tactics to shape the desired habits in their children. This ensures that your children only get the good habits and prevent these addictive habits that this industry trying to shape in us. For the other parenting coaches, the strategy you learn from them often appears too controlling or too permissive. Their goal is to teach you how to control your child's screen time without being techy. You will end up spending every ounce of your time bouncing between too controlling or too permissive because you did not know how to navigate the online world yourself. You have no idea what are your children doing online. It does not give you a sense of certainty, and therefore you keep sending the wrong message to your children or stalking them online. When you work with us, our children have access to our arsenal of ridiculous shape habits techniques that use to nurture good screen habits. Their children will use the screen responsibly and stay safe online because they wanted to do so. Again, we never want to manipulate or control our children. They are going to grow up and become young adults. Because of our empowering tech use methods, our children use the screen to pursue their passion and talent. This allows them to use the tech devices wisely, responsibly, and stay safe online. As a result of doing things differently, our clients experience these results. They help their children to overcome their addictions to the screen, internet, social media, games, and YouTube so that their children can gain back their childhood and create more memories with them. They deepen the connections with their children and make the children feel that they are the best parents. So they come to their parents for any problems, uncertainties, and happiness. They empower the children to use technologies responsibly and stay safe online. So the children use these devices for a better future for themselves. Their children can gain back their time, spending time doing what they love and are passionate about, playing more outside and connecting with their parents more. They learn about and apply digital parenting so that they can use these fundamentals regardless of what new technology came out. So what else makes us different? This is the most simplest way to show what makes us different. So there are two groups approaching parenting our children in this digital era. The first group is parenting group, which focuses on building connections with our children. They use the following strategy: building deep connections with our children, being a role model to our children, responding to our children, set agreement and limits on screen time, plan more outdoor activities to help our children to regulate their screen time. All these strategies work, but they do not tackle the internet dangers that surround the screen. The idea is to parent our children in this digital era without much techie. Here's the reality. Our children spend a significant amount of time on the internet, games, and screen. If we have no idea what is happening in the online world, we could not bring forward some initial issues to the table for discussion and rectification. Here's the second group, which is internet safety. The second group in the internet safety group, which focus on using technology to parent our children in this digital era. They use the following strategies: use parental control software to supervise your children's online activities, limit screen time, apps they can download or use, privacy information, and etc. Teach the children about internet safety. Have internet safety rules and guidelines and tell children what not to do. Dive deep into all internet safety issues that surround our children. All this strategy works, but they do not tackle the relationship with our children. When our children do not feel the connections, and sometimes when they feel their privacy could be infringed by their own parents, they may decide to work around the parental control. Our children are born in this digital era, and mastering tech is an easy peasy job for them. They can figure out how to get through the control you put in. The idea is to parent our children in this digital era using technology. Here's the reality. Without connection, you are working against your children, which makes the parenting task even harder. Therefore, I decide to combine parenting, internet safety, and habits in digital parenting my children. I'm a firm believer in mindset and habits. I study habits meticulously, and it has since transformed my life. Sow a thought and you reap a soul. Sow an act and you reap a habit. Sow a habit and you reap a character. Sow a character and you reap a destiny. Therefore, define habits before they define you. I believe in nurturing independent, courageous, and conscious children who can self-regulate their screen time and manage their life well. Further, the brilliant tech industry continues improving their technologies and apps to attract and maintain their consumer on their platform. This is why when they monopolize the apps and the products, we are living in a very distracted world. By helping our children to shape the right mindset and habits, it helps them to maintain their focus and attention in this distracted world. When I combine these three quadrants, that's when I find this is the sweet spot to parenting our children in this digital era. Here's what you can expect when you work with us. The phase number one is the set technology agreement used in the family. The outcome will be to set clear boundaries and technology use in the family so parents and child can be on the same page. What you will actually get is that you get the group coaching, group Q&A, and video modules. And what you actually learn here is you will set boundaries on agreement on screen use responding to your child's misbehavior. And the timeline is actually 8 weeks. And the phase number two, you actually learn to deal with addiction and habits. The outcome is to understand whether it is habits or is really the gaming, social media, internet addiction, and assess your child situation and deal with it. What you will actually get is also the group coaching, group Q&A, and video modules. What you will actually learn is you will understand habits and addiction, dealing with addictions and good screen habits. And the timeline is 16 weeks. So this is assuming that 16 weeks is based on phase one, which 8 weeks plus another 8 weeks. So this is the total 16 weeks. And phase number three is increase your influence and empower your children. The outcome is to increase your influence and effective family meetings so that your children can listen to you and tell you everything. So what you get here is you will get group coaching, group Q&A, and video modules. What you will learn is nurture good screen habits, conflict management, and family meeting. And the timeline is 24 weeks. And phase number four is dealing with internet dangers. Tools to set up a safe internet for your children and guide your children to stay safe. What you will actually get is the group coaching, group Q&A, video models, and Telegram support. What you will actually learn is about the internet dangers and how to counter them, educate our children on internet safety, and tackling peer pressure. And the timeline is 32 weeks. So basically, this is the feature of the group coaching where you have the reduced screen time, shaping habits, empowering children, and stay safe online. So it basically, the duration is 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, and 8 months. And we just have a call every week, which it will take you about 90 minutes. So technically, you're just spending about 15 minutes a day if you want to actually calculate. So it's actually 15 minutes a day, which is 90 minutes per week to have the call, and you have the group coaching as well, and the group Q&A as well. And if you actually go and sign up for my 8 months program, we will also give you Telegram support. So the reduce screen time program. The program aims to reduce your child's screen time by setting boundaries with the screen. We will use 6 strategies to achieve this. Establish healthy boundaries with the screen as family. Set agreement with your child on screen use. Responding to your child's misbehavior related to the screen. Assessing our screen habits and their meaning. Connecting with our children. And the parenting foundation's type of children we want to raise. Here's the guarantee. Your children's screen time will reduce by a minimum of 30%. If they spend 8 hours on screen, their screen time will reduce to 5.6 hours, which is about 5 hours and 36 minutes. If you don't achieve, you can receive the group coaching until you reach the guarantee level. Here's the Shape Habits program. The program aims to shape your child's screen time. We are fighting with billion-dollar industries, social media, gaming, virtual reality. These industries and market players will continue to design their devices or apps to hook their consumers to them. We will use 4 strategies to achieve this. Understand screen habits. Guide our children to maintain their focus and attention. Shape your children's habits and hack back so that they are not distracted and addicted to these devices. Dealing with the deeper needs behind the addiction. And here's the guarantee. Your child's screen time will reduce by a minimum of 50%, and your child will also use their screen responsibly and mindfully. If they actually spend about 8 hours, so usually their screen time will reduce to 4 hours. If you have not achieved, you can receive the group coaching until you reach the guarantee level. Empowering our children program. This program aims to increase your influence, instill critical thinking, and empower our children. With exposures to peer contents and other influences, we need to instill critical thinking and empower our children. We will use 5 strategies to achieve this. Shape good mindset and habits in your children. Increase our influence as a guide. Parents cultivate critical thinking in our children. Set up family meeting. Deal with deeper needs of our children's misbehavior. The guarantee, your children's screen time will reduce to 2 to 3 hours a day, and your children will use their screen responsibly and mindfully. So basically, our program, the maximum is like 2. I think anything below 2 hours is actually just good enough. So this is the guarantee we can actually give you if you go to the Empowering Our Children program. And you will also witness your children able to make conscious decisions about their screen habits. And if you do not achieve, you can also receive the group coaching until you reach the guarantee level. And here is about the Stay Safe Online program. The program is to aim to nurture your child's screen habits while staying safe online. We are fighting with internet dangers, cyber criminals, scammers, cyber bullies, and all, and etc. And your children will also face peer pressure on that device's use. Our children need to learn about internet dangers and peer pressure and learn to keep themselves safe. Our children can't protect themselves from something they do not understand. We will use 4 strategies to achieve this. Understand internet dangers and peer pressures and way to counter them. Communicate and guide your children on how to handle these internet dangers and peer pressure. Use tools to secure your child's device or app environment and monitor their online activities to prevent any problems. And 4th, parents to learn to resolve conflicts with their children. The guarantee is your children will able to understand internet safety and learn how to stay safe. You and your child will know how to stay safe online. And if you do not achieve, you can receive the group coaching until you reach the guarantee level. How much does it worth to you when your child is able to overcome the addictions to the internet, social media, games, and YouTube, gain back their childhood and create memories with you? How much does it worth to you when you have a deeper connections with your children and make your children feel that you are the best parents, so they come to you for any problems, uncertainties, and happiness? How much does it worth to you when your children are empowered to use these technologies responsibly and stay safe online, so they use these devices for a better future for themselves? And how much does it worth to you when your child can gain back their time, spending time doing what they love and are passionate about, playing more outside and connecting with you more? What if you can reduce your child's screen time and stop their screen addiction in just 2 to 6 months' time? Many of you are stuck with this problem for many years. How many years can you waste? Your children keeps growing every year. It is getting more challenging as they grow. And number 2, what if you can also have the step-by-step system that can get you immediate results? Many of you have been go to parenting workshops, psychologists and therapists, school teachers and counselors, and nothing works. That's why you are here. What if you can get the actual steps that can give you immediate results without you having to trial and error? What if you can guide your children to stay safe online and ensure their tech devices are protected against online or internet dangers? Many of you are concerned about the social media impacts on your children's mental well-being, online predators, cyberbullying, and dangers associated with online presence. What if you can guide them to stay safe online without the need to undergo deep training about the internet? What if you can set a safe tech device environment for them to play without the need to be techie? Doesn't this give you peace of mind? What do you have to lose when you have a guarantee to help you to reduce your child's screen time or stop your child's screen addiction? When your child's well-being and future will be impacted if they continue to be addicted to their screen. And what do you have to lose when your child's online safety could be at stake? So what are the ages of children that I can help? So basically, I help children aged between 2 to 15 years old. For older children, more than 16 years old, we suggest you to book a call and we will assess if we can help. My spouse and partner is not supportive. Can I still do this successfully? Yes, I've worked with parents who are divorced, not in a working marriage, or even have a spouse who likes to do things differently. They are still able to get the results. My questions to you is, are you willing to do this for yourself and your child? My children don't listen to me. When your children don't listen to you, most of the time there is a disconnect. That's why the more you join us in this program so that we can help you to reconnect with your children. You can also get other parents to support you. Being a parent is hard. Don't be a lonely parent. My children are young. I think I should wait. Rather than spending time breaking the internet, social media, and gaming addiction, wouldn't it be better to prevent in the first place? And how many of you are confident to do that? Just like my own case studies, I started the moment before I allow my children to use the internet or tech devices. Don't wait until it becomes an addiction and only want to work on it. Breaking addiction is much harder. When your children is older, it is also harder. You may be stagnant, but your children are growing. Is this too late? Many times parents think whether it is too late as their children are so addicted to their screens, internet, or gaming. They also wonder if it is possible if their children are in their teenage years. It's never too late as your child needs your help. Your child will bring the addictions to their adulthood and it will impact their future lives. If you don't help your children, no one else will. I leave you with a quote. It is easier to build a strong children than rather to repair broken men. I do not know how to handle my children's tantrum or meltdown. Whenever possible, our systems guide you to avoid these situations. However, we can't prevent the meltdown and tantrums. In group coaching, I will guide you how to calm down and how to handle the meltdown. Most importantly, I will guide you to lead your children to come back to the family and the agreement. I'm sure if I can do this, I'm stuck. I understand all of us have some obstacles that are blocking us. I was in the same shoe as you before. To share with you, I even have thrown Swen out of the house a few times when she misbehaved. I was following the same patterns my parents parented me. We need to identify your obstacles and help you to overcome them. I don't have time. Our group coaching only takes 1 hour, 30 minutes per week. It means that you need to allocate 13 minutes per day. Don't you think you got 13 minutes a day? Perhaps cut on your Netflix, Facebook, and YouTube. You will find you will gain back some time. If you are serious about this, I'm sure you can allocate 13 minutes a day. Is this worth it? Most of us enroll our children in enrichment classes such as music, sports, and brain development classes. We never question if it is worth it. When it comes to the parents themselves, they will question whether it is worth it. Breaking the internet or gaming addiction is hard, just like any other addictions like cigarettes, drugs, or alcohol. If you can't help them overcome the internet addiction now, it will affect their future. What price can you put on your children's future and safety? What if I can't attend the live coaching call? Even if you can't attend the live coaching call, don't worry. All these are recorded and available for replay at your convenient time. If you know you can't attend the call and you have questions for me, you can shoot a video or email me your questions and I will answer them during the coaching call. Well, even though we are really good at what we do, we cannot help everybody. We are crystal clear who we can help. Check out the following criteria to see if we would be a good mutual fit or not. This is for you if you are parents who want to overcome your child's internet, social media, and gaming addictions, or to reduce your child's excessive screen time. You want your child to gain back their childhood. This is not for you if you just want to install the parental control and leave it to your children. This is for you if you want to empower your children to use these tech devices responsibly and stay safe online. You understand that the technology is going to stay and our children are going to live with it. You want to figure out how to get your children to with these technologies and stay safe online. This is not for you if you do not want to learn how to parent your child with these technologies. This is for you if you want to have a happier and healthier relationship with your child. You do not want the tech to ruin your relationship with your child. This is not for you if you just want your child to change, but you doesn't want to change. You don't bother if the relationship is good or not, as long as they are listening to you. If what you saw in the previous slide sounds like you might be a good fit, now you have two choices. Take this free training lesson and try to figure out on your own, or join us so you can actually get the system to nurture good screen habits. Let's have a conversation and we'll share how it could work for you too. Do you have a neck now? Frankly, you don't need to, but it's in your best interest to do so. Here's why. Remember, your children need some help and they need your help. Your children only have a limited time being a child. If they spend most of their time on the screen or technologies, they will lose their childhood. So if you never do this fast, your children will continue to have this addiction, which can affect their well-being, mental and physical health, academic performance, and life, and they will likely to bring these addictions to their adulthood. If that's not what you want to happen, then you know what to do. Consider this. What is your most fear scenario if you don't fix this? What is your children's futures look like? What will they miss out? Is it something that you need to solve right now urgently? Why and why not? What is the cost of not doing this right now? How long you can delay? How many of you can confidently parenting your children with these tech devices? How many of you are busy working parents? Do you think you have time to figure out everything about parenting your child with the screens or internet? Parenting is already hard, and you need to add on digital parenting. As a parent, we have thousands of things on our plates. You need a strong foundation and a strong support systems. It is possible when you have a step-by-step system that you can implement. So what are the benefits of booking a call? In this 30-minute complimentary call, I will help you to identify the roadblocks that you have, help you gain clarity on how you can help your children to reduce their screen time or overcome their internet addiction, and to answer any questions and any doubts that you have. My programs, basically I have course and coaching, are based on selection basis. If we are not the right fit, I will not sell you anything. So book a free 30 minutes clarity call. We can have a chat for us to find out what are some challenges you are facing and if we have the ability to meet your needs. So basically the link to book the call is www.calendly.com/jessiliu/apply. And you can also scan the QR code to actually book the call. And when you actually apply the call, basically you actually asked to enter your name and email, and we will also ask you 3 questions. The first question is, what are the top 3 challenges when it comes to reducing your child's screen time right now? And second question is, if we get to work together, what are your desired outcomes? And third, if we get to work together, how fast do you expect to see results? So here's the QR code for you to scan. So let's connect. So you can actually find me on my Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And to find me is very easy. You just need to search for Jessie Liu SP. And you can also email me at info@digitalparenting.club. We can have a chat to find out what are the challenges. And basically, you can just DM me if you have any questions about my program or basically the challenges that you have.